wanted that to recording, so.
Okay, everybody, we're going to reconvene the regular council meeting of April 11th on April 12th at 1 PM. Mike, do you want to take your asthma recommendation here, I guess, the first thing?
Sure. Reason we're looking at this again is because you hadn't seen the final contract, the red line or the other one. That's since been sent out to all of you. And are there any questions?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Then the recommendation is to approve the contract for the period as stated.
I make a motion to approve the contract, ASME union contract.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on it?
Can we include in the minutes that, what the increases were, the 8.5 and the 5.5 and the 5.5? 8.5 the first year and 5.5 the second, 5.5 the third. I mean, the contract nobody sees, so just to inform the citizens that that's what we did, besides all the other stuff.
You got it in?
You got that, Char?
Thank you.
What are they?
8.5 this year in 2022, 5.5 in 2023, and 5.5 in 2024.
And that is based on a satisfactory upgrade.
No, it's not. It's automatic. The steps are automatic. We tried to get that in there, they wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Remember? Teamsters did. They were willing and able, but asked me, it was automatic renewal. We asked them based on a good performance review, and they wouldn't accept that, I believe.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to remember, but I thought they did. I thought that was kind of an automatic.
Right, it was.
No. Well,
Automatic that the
I'm pretty sure.
Automatic increase, and there was, I mean, you can't, they didn't want us to hold up an increase based on some review that wasn't discussed in detail. I mean,
What?
does it make, you,
The Teamsters contract was based, they got, it even says on that page that they get a step based on a good review. The ASME is automatic.
I thought ASME was, they didn't want you all of a sudden walking up on the evaluation date and gunny sacking up the employee.
Then they would go into grievance, but no, it didn't go in there.
so.
Do I have my, I do
So
have my.
what I was trying to say is, in general, you can't have language. If I were them, I would not take language that says I get stopped if I don't have a good review without someone saying what is and what isn't a good review. There's none of that language in here. You see what I'm saying?
Well-
You can't just say, you didn't get a good review and you're not getting your increase. You have to have
Oh,
some definition of what that is.
you have to have an evaluation that
Yes,
demonstrates
and
it.
we never got into the
Okay.
details, and I don't know that we ever have here. So I think it's the job of the supervisor, if there's an employee that isn't
Performing.
performing, that's dealt with in a different manner.
What, I'm pretty, Eric, wasn't it in the Teamsters that it was based on a performance review?
Teamster.
Surprisingly so, yes.
Okay. I'm starting to feel like I'm losing it.
Teamsters have it, yeah, I knew that.
Yes, and, okay.
We're going to vote?
Based on, you got a step based on a satisfactory review. And that's what we were trying to get into this one, but we didn't. So,
Okay.
anyway.
And I don't know if you want to be careful about that, because I know there are some departments in the area where if you get a performance increase, it can sometimes become political. Probably not here per se, but I mean, the larger departments there, oh, turn it on, yeah. in the larger departments, there are people that if they're looking at it and they're saying, well, my review wasn't bad, but yet I didn't get an increase. I was the top performer, but yet, you know, I didn't get, it all of a sudden became a political thing for them, and they're not enjoying that very much right now.
I think Jessica said that they would go into grievance
Right,
if you didn't get a good review and you felt like you were,
yep. So,
Tagged.
yeah, I'm always a little cautious on that whenever I hear about the performance step or performance increase. I mean, they can get up to 4%, and so they didn't, you know, they were only half good to the supervisor, and they got a,
yeah.
you know, 2% or whatever it might be, so.
Well, there's pages of grievance
Oh, I'm
process,
sure.
so I think we're probably covered.
Well, it is what it is. and
Right.
Nothing we can do about it at this point, I don't feel.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to approve. Anything else on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item 3 is the memorandum of understanding for the step-up pay, which is $3 an hour effective April 2nd, ending with, and an ending date on the date the new Public Works Director begins. This applies to basically Nate, Seth, and Joe.
Right. I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item 4 is a resolution accepting the bid that we approved last night.
I so move
We can use that, we can use that motion, can't we, Shar? That you're just going to use this
so we don't have to
resolution?
make a second one.
Yep.
I just wanted you guys to see these.
No, that's
But you
good.
know there's going to be a resolution.
Yeah,
Okay.
Perfect, thank you,
Okay.
Shar.
perfect.
And that's the same for the last item on here, item 5, for the proposed assessment hearing too, so we've already done that, so we should be good.
So then, I have a question yet on this budget thing. How come there's 60,000? I'm looking at the sewer budget now because last night I said there's nothing in the Public Works, and you informed us about the, that the floor for that building was in sewer, but there's 60,000 in there. And we were saying that that 12,000 quote was not correct either. It was more like 8,000. So are we comparing the right things?
Yes, we are. And if you remember last night, we talked and said, wait a second. What we were looking at, what does it take to make that building useful for its intended purpose? And that includes the floor, the heat, insulation, and so forth. So we were directed to come back with the estimate for the project. Now, whether that's 8,000 or 25, we're probably going to be in that 30,000 range is what I'm guessing. I just don't know.
Oh, okay. The 60,000 threw me.
I think that included wiring, electrical, setting the shop up,
Yeah.
you know.
And there's other
So
things.
is it
there.
Public Works or is it sewer?
It's sewer. It's at the sewer plant. It's the building at the end of the
Yeah.
oxidation
But is
ditches.
Public Works going to use it, or is the sewer plant using it?
Probably both,
Probably
to some
all.
extent, just
Fire.
like they do now.
There's nothing in there now.
You
There's a
got
few
plenty of
things in
storage, Eric? That one shed is enough? Yeah.
No, there's nothing in that shed, right?
No, there is stuff
No,
in
there's
there.
some stuff
Yeah.
in there.
What's in there? Junk?
Junk, I mean, it's a plow and some,
There's
not
stuff
much.
that we authorized as
Yeah.
access.
I forgot, the cemetery digger thing is in
Getting rid
there.
of the one shed for Park and Rec, so there's gonna be a little bit of, there's gonna be, it'll be a shed some.
Yeah, so we'll come back with what it's going to take to make that functional. You know, and that's all that was.
Okay, I was
And again, we've been
I was
talking
pretty
about-
confused by the time the whole thing was over, because the $12,000 quote was too high. It was more like an $8,000 quote. And then there was nothing in Public Works, but there's $60,000 in.
So I have to ask the question,
Sewer.
are we confused now? Or are we all
Kinda.
clear?
No, now I know that you're going to come back with
Great.
a $50,000
It'll be
bid.
59,999.99.
Well, I'm just saying, if you looked at the whole thing, that it didn't quite make sense.
20, 150?
I move to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Yeah, no, so that's a really good deal for them.
You didn't want me to publicly say I was confused?
Thanks, you guys.
Annual